Help me understand proportion in regards to McCormick.
McCormick has a very specific concept behind it in terms of the proportions. Um, the whole idea of McCormick is um, a huge, impressive room that is, I guess, in some ways, almost like McCormick Place, but that's not the McCormick I was referencing. It's Ruth Henna McCormick, the woman who furthered the whole idea of milk production um, in Illinois here. There's a room that is meant you're meant to walk into it and go, oh shit, right? As one of the David Adler owners, David Adler houses owners said that we call this the oh shit room. You walk in and you're just like, whoa. And so this is a room where you walk in and you turn the corner and you go, whoa, this is just an enormous room that has all kinds of detail everywhere, from the fireplace to the bookcases to the kind of cozy, almost Alpine-like bar that goes into the kitchen. Um, and then the other part of the house, the big mass, houses everything else in the house. So it has a family room, it has a gym, it has two family rooms. It has one downstairs, it has one upstairs. It has an office or extra bedroom on the first floor. It accesses the garage. It has the second like pantry slash backup kitchen area. You can get upstairs from two different staircases to the second floor. It has uh, I think there's five bedrooms in total, all with private baths, and this lounge upstairs, a laundry room upstairs, a laundry room downstairs. It's got all the functionality. There's lots of places to be and lots of things to do in the solid block. When you're in the big glass block, um, it's all about being together and hanging out and enjoying people and hopefully having, great family get-togethers, great parties, the neighbors, everybody can come and just feel really comfortable. And I've tried to create, I've learned from other architects, big doesn't have to be um, uncomfortable and make you feel diminutive. There are people who have designed buildings and houses that I've been in where, while it is a large space, it's broken down in such a way that when you're in it, you don't feel overwhelmed and you feel comfortable, yet you can still feel the grandness of the space without feeling pressed. And that's was my goal, is to create that kind of feel in that space.
Can you tell me the story how you learned about Ruth Henna McCormick?
Um, we wanted to go for a drive on New Year's Day, and I was looking at Google Maps at a town on the Rock River in Illinois, and I saw two buildings that were a certain shape and had a certain relationship to each other that meant something to me because I've studied a lot of formal architecture, um, and I've been to a lot of formal architecture. There was something here that was special. And so I zoomed in and started figuring out what this property was and where it came from and how it existed. And it turned out to be a house and barn, stables, if you will, for Ruth Henna McCormick. And she was the wife of Medill McCormick. These are, part of the McCormick family, very wealthy family. And she was the daughter of, I don't remember the guy's first name, Henna, who was from Cincinnati, very well connected, and helped get President McKinley elected. So he was kind of that level of politics. And this woman did a lot of very impressive things. The most impressive of which was she amassed a over 2,000 acre farm in a little town called Byron, south of Rockford in Illinois, outside Chicago, where she proceeded to figure out how cows should be treated, how they should be milked, how the milk should be moved from point A to point B, and defined a lot of the processes of dairy farming to create safe milk for children to drink. And that was ultimately her goal, that she didn't feel that the milk her children were drinking was safe. And so she worked with a company called Borden, dairy, very famous company, and I think she's very much an unsung hero. But so the house that I designed, McCormick, is my, I've studied the house that she built. It was by a New York architect who built this house in Byron. It was a very impressive house. In some ways, very simple. In some ways, very elegant, and in some ways, probably understated. So what I wanted to do with McCormick was design a house for Ruth Henna McCormick, for Ruth, that was what she would want today. And she was a woman of means, so it needed to have a certain level of impressiveness. On the other hand, she was a woman of comfort, at least from what I've learned of her. And I think she wanted something that was comfortable. I think she was also a person who felt threatened for a lot of different reasons. Her husband ended up committing suicide. Um, she was a woman in a big world in a time where women weren't accepted. And I think that this house was, in a lot of ways, a sanctuary, the one she built in Byron, a sanctuary where she would feel safe. And I also want to take that aspect of her and try to put it into this house where it's a comforting place. It's a place where you're not going to be threatened. It's safe.